Hey world, welcome to it. Let's get it. Jumping right into the deep end for the week. I know I'm late. But we're going to do it this way. So, what's the problem with being educated? It's being educated. The problem with being a person of perspective is being a person of perspective. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you're a person who's educated, you think 10 times as hard. When you are a person who can look past perspectives and outside of your own personal trauma with the situation, you can kind of relay it in a way and that you hope that you get. Me, myself, is like, I'm one of those people that if after I speak in a metaphor, I ask you, like, if that makes sense. And what I've been told is like, yo, you're condescending. You're talking to me like I'm a child or like I'm a dummy. No, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, that means we're not hearing each other. And if I'm not picking up what you're putting down, we're not hearing each other. We're not getting it. I can listen to you all day and let you just run off at the lips, but am I hearing where you actually coming from and what you're saying to me? Am I picking up what you're trying to put down? Movie reference, Fences. I love Fences. The movie got so many things in there, but one of the things that I love is that when he was talking about baseball, trying to describe his feelings, and then Rose was talking about a garden, and a rose, concrete, flowers blooming, and he really didn't understand it either. But when it was on him, she like, man, you talking about baseball? No, I'm explaining you the best way I know how. She wasn't picking up what he was putting down. So they had my new word, a fracture. And since they had a fracture, the communication was broken. And then she couldn't take herself out of her perspective until he was gone. What they thought was so harsh and what they thought was so mean, they couldn't understand him until what? He was gone. And now she was in his shoes because she had a little girl to raise. And now she could understand his perspective. The thing about being kind of educated, not talking about high school, but talking about self-development, is that you learn to take yourself out of your own perspective. You learn to not have conversations based solely on your personal traumas. You learn how to talk in generalities. You learn how to make the statement broad and don't bring it close to yourself, because you are a single organism. And you're looking at certain things as a whole. You're looking at certain things objectively. And people like to say personally. Well, I can't talk about personally because personally this situation don't fit me. Personally, I'm not in that. So it's not my perspective. It's not me bringing it out. But if I'm calling you about a trauma, or I'm calling you because I'm going through something, I don't need your trauma response. I need you to actually take a minute, take a beat, pause, and listen to what's going on. I understand you might be triggered, and your trigger might fuse that trauma response. But you got to take a beat. You got to slow down. Listen to yourself. Let's stop and have the conversation. If you can't redirect yourself and notice that you went off the deep end, or you went off the reservation during that conversation, then you might have to tell people that, hey man, that's out of my capacity to have. Because what that's going to do is I'm not going to respond to you in a way that's beneficial. I'm going to respond in a way that's emotional for me because of the topic. And sometimes when you're triggered and you respond that way, you can't even catch that this is a trauma response for you. You can't even tell that you got emotional in the conversation, whether that's responsive or defensive. You just know that you are responding. There's been a couple conversations I've had in this past week that a lot of people have been responding out of their own personal trauma, objectively or defensively. And because you're triggered. Learn your triggers. Get educated in things and stop thinking about what the world has told and shown us. And like I say, now we're not talking about books. We're not talking about college credits. We're talking about self-development as an educated. We're talking about reading certain books to get educated. We're talking about understanding on a different level to educate you. We're talking about EQ over IQ educated. We're talking about understanding that I don't have to just keep having the same verbiage, the same conversation over and over with you. It's difficult to want to actually get advice from someone who's stuck. And it's even more difficult to get advice from somebody who don't know they stuck. The hard part about certain things is that you won't even know how to respond to these people or pull out the advice that you need from these people that you feel they might have, because they've already went so far and shut down. And like a computer that's on a slow modem from the 90s, you got to wait till they dial back up again. You got to wait till all the systems, all the lights are on again, and they reboot it up. By then, you'd have lost all your data. All the memory, all the stuff, all the keynotes and stuff that you had, bullet point, that file is gone. And it's too much work to try to bring that file back up. So you gotta either start anew or say forget about it. It's difficult. And like they say, like, that's why I say, man, the hardest part about being educated is being educated. Because when you talk to people a certain way, the first thing they look at you like, bro, what you trying to say I'm stupid? What you trying to say I don't know something? A guy that I work with, y'all know, I said a lot, man. My man Owawa, one of the things he was telling me yesterday, he was like, hey, man, you might want to think about something different. Just try this. And he was like, the young man was like, man, my grandma do it this way. He was like, yeah, but just try this. He was like, so the young man was like, you think you're smarter than my grandma? Already, it went from having a objective conversation to this might get violent. Retreat. It's over. I gotta run. Imagine having that done in every conversation because you're not picking up what I'm putting down. Imagine that happening because you can't step outside yourself and see a different side of the picture and understand how I can combat what's going on. That's why they say the game is not checkers, it's chess. Because in chess, I gotta see across the board. I can't focus on my pieces, just my pieces. You get tunnel vision, and before you know it, you done got mated. You gotta think for yourself and them. You gotta know every possibility moves that they can make before they make it, and still be able to move your pieces the way you need it to be moved. It's a difficult game. Strategy, analyzation, patterns. And that's also the next. People are so unaware of their own patterns. Like, you do the same thing over and over again. Don't call me a Mr. Know-It-All when you do the same stuff different times of the year. Oh, every 3 years you act like this. Every 6 months you're doing this. Every 5. Your patterns never change. Oh, I'm trying to do what you're not. You think you are until that time of come around. It's like a period. It's the same time every month. Till the season change, then a month jump, or you Bluetooth for somebody else's. But then what happens? Eventually, you go back to your regular scheduled channel. Same bat time, same bat channel. We got to do a lot of things differently. If we want to change, we have to start, one, by educating ourselves and getting ourselves in self-development for ourselves. Not for our partner, but for ourselves. We got to be able to take time and step out ourselves and realize that there's another story to this. If everyone's you want to use that two things could be true at the same time, then how do you still only want to hold up to your part that you think is true? That don't make sense. If you want to say, man, you're Mr. Know-It-All, if every time that I've said something I've been right, why would I not feel that I'm right? That's kind of crazy, right? No one's right 100% of the time. So if you're wrong, admit it. Go ahead and own that. Accountability is everything. But if you have 90% of being correct, you can't say they know it all. Their stats, their number shows that they've been on point. Welcome to the deep end.